Yo guys, what is up? What is up? So we were in here. Um, I was totally unprepared for that. I hit the wrong button. I didn't mean to go live exactly at that moment, but we are now live. Let's quickly let me get situated with camera stuff and things like that. But hang on here, hang on OBS. Where are you at? Where are you at OBS? Let me get on the proper screen here. Where are we at? All right, cool. So again, today I'm gonna try to do again another hour and a half. See if we can put together a scene using Blender Octane and World Creator. I've been experimenting with World Creator a little bit, and it came with my subscription for the studio version update. So we're gonna play with that and try to get a full render here by the end of the stream. That's my goal. Last time we didn't, but this is my goal today. So let's jump into this. You guys can see I'm in World Creator right here. This is really cool. I did find out some of the limitations of the indie licensing that we have, or I don't know what license path I'm on, but we can't scatter objects. But that's no deal. That's not a big deal because we can scatter objects in Blender. So that's one thing. I'm gonna share the maps here. I hope to share the maps so that you guys can download and play with them yourself. So generating one thing quickly, trying to are these working? Are these working? Full screen. There we go. Trying to generate the height map, and then taking that height map and bringing it into Octane and doing a texture displacement works absolutely fantastic. But I found an issue. I couldn't scatter anything on it, like trees or anything, because I'm generating displacement using Octane's wizardry texture displacement. So that kind of like, oh, right, that sucks. So what I need to do is export a mesh out of the terrain that we're going to generate. So that'll allow me to be able to generate and scatter on top of that. And then I'm going to use Octane scattering system. So that's the only downside. But in 2027, they're working on how to take like Vectron and meshes and actually make it a mesh and then be able to scatter on it. So I'm waiting for that. So let's get back over here. All right, cool, cool, cool. Also, definitely take a look, guys, down below. Scan the QR code. I have a free Blender Octane community, which I did a pre-live stream in there for the community members, me testing out and practicing for this stream, so you guys can check out cool stuff like that there. So, alrighty, here we go. World Creator. I'm gonna do a quick world here. I'm gonna try to make sure we can stay on time here. Let me actually. I want to reset my clock here. Give me a good fresh start. Boom. And come on, clock, where are you at? There it is. All right, good. 59 minutes. Let's see if we can do this, guys. All right. So I could just use this base one, but I want to keep learning this here. So I'm gonna go to shape layer. I'm gonna go to fix bleep bleep up. No, I guess I'm not going to. Yeah, shape layer. Oh, shape layer plus, and I want to go sculpt, and then it's going to do this. That's actually, I'm still struggling with the how to move around in this thing here, dude. It's just like, it's brutal for me. It's brutal, guys. I need to take the time and set up the shortcut keys to what Blender is, so I can at least be able to do the same movement in Blender and the same movement in here. But we won't do that here. Okay, so enough of the jibber jab. I'm going to go out of the cinematic mode and I'm going to go to the shape mode here. And last time I did a 1K material. We're going to keep it at a 1K tile. And let's go and do, how do I do this again? I'll hit edit. Bear with me, guys. I'm learning this program here. And again, I'm just sharing my journey as I'm learning, because that's how what I do here on my channel, right? All right, you kind of do something like that. And we're going to put a river right between there. And let's bring this down a little bit more, and maybe even more. Something like this. Yeah, kind of like build up there. Have a little flat plateau there. Board and tab. If we look in here, it made a little tiny reference guy. And this is our reference to our world, which you can see how tiny he is. I want to do something a little bit bigger, like, because I want to have trees and like, I just want to have like a little micro scene, trees and stuff. I'm not looking to like be like a drone shot, right? So with that guy here, if I go to settings, reference, I can bring him up and make him larger, right? So I'm looking to do like a riverbank scene, right? This might work. 60, he's huge, right? He's like 70 meters, 75 meters. So yeah, I'm not working at real world scale, but I want to use this terrain in a different way. But I'm just using it to do. So I kind of like that. That's something I can deal with. All right. So I got to remember that this is about 75 meters. So this is really still large. And we can just maybe scale it down once we get into Blender. All right, cool. Now that we've got that, let's go ahead and quickly save our file here. I'm going to say live 2. Live underscore 2, right? And we were saving in the world creator thing. Yes, we are. We're in the right place. And I'm actually going to copy this path because I'm going to need it for later. And I'm going to come over here to this output. Where is it? Export. I'm going to take this because it doesn't remember my settings for some reason. Custom, and I'm going to select my output folder. And can I just... yeah, see, I gotta select my output folder. Still a lot of things that are just kind of like annoying me about this program, but hey, what can you do, right? It came with my subscription, so would I pay for this at the moment? No. It's not like they added a scattering system to it, which you can't use because that's for the paid members. But at the moment, it's not enough for me to justify saying that I will do a paid subscription to this, because I can technically almost do this exact same thing in Blender, right? But you'll see there's some really cool settings here. Hang on, I can't talk and search for files at the same time. Let me be quiet for one moment here. Where is it at? New hard drive and world creator and world creator maps. And then we're going to make a new folder, live stream, live 2, live underscore 2. That's going to be my new folder. Hit OK on that. Okay, so now that doing all that, this lets me to open export folder, and then boom, that's the folder. I have to do it every time. It never saves it. I don't know why. Use custom sync folder. I don't know what all that gibberish. I'm not gonna figure it out right now. All right, boom. So I did this quick mesh here, right? Now we can start. This is the cool part. Now this is what you probably can't do in Blender. If I click on filters, come over here to filters, and we're gonna add like literally filters. You can see it real time just by hovering over, which is really nice, right? Effects, and you can see, all right, creators, right? Now we're actually like we're in the world creator. We're in the world creator. Ooh, I actually really like that one, rigid, right? What is this one? Scattered. Interesting. Smooth. Swirl. Okay. Actually, I'm going to take this. What is it? This one? I like this one. Yeah, I like this. And then I'm also going, we can stack. We can just keep stacking on top. I'm going to come in here again to filters and canyon. Ooh, I actually kind of like that. That cliffs a little bit. Ooh, this is nice. Rocky cliffs. Again, what am I going for? I'm going for like a kind of a foresty scene. Like we're going to be scattering trees. So I got to kind of keep that in mind. This is actually not bad right here too. But I do want to have a little bit of a cliff. Like I like this cliff here. That kind of where it drops off. And then again, you can come over here and start playing with these sliders. They see they're doing stuff. Ooh, interesting. I like that. And then you got your general, blend modes, right? I kind of like that. And then strength, threshold, smoothing, radius. All right, I kind of like this, what we got going here, but it's a little too flat up here. So I'm gonna add another noise on top of that. Let's go to some basic erosion. That's kind of killing my slopes a little bit. That's interesting. Let's go to basic erosion, maybe soft flows, and then I'm gonna probably bring this way back, kind of a little bit like that, maybe. Play with some of these here real quick. Hey, what's up? What's up? Depth. Can we go? Yeah, we can control the depth on that. And again, I was supposed to be trying to add some noise on top of that. So let's come back here one more time. Maybe let's go to noise. Ooh. I kind of like this simplex noise. This is kind of cool, but it's just killing my ridge. This kind of looks riverbank like. Kind of maybe like that canyon. You know what? I'm actually probably gonna add it. Oh, rocky plateaus. Let's go river wide. Okay, it is what it is. I want to move on. Now, I want to quickly make a river through here, which I've already kind of done by, sculpting. Actually, I could probably add some noise back on top of that. Let me just quickly, where's our time check? I don't want to spend too much time in World Creator. I want to get this to Blender quickly, so I need to stop pixel peeping a little bit here. Let me go back to Sculpt. Let me go back to Edit. And, oh, see, it totally interacts with it. That's so nice. It's so procedural that it's just insane, right? Look at that. It's filtering how I had it. Okay, that's really cool. But I think I want to add, can I add a new sculpt on top of that? Yeah, a new sculpt. Ooh, no, I don't want to do that. Undo that. Sculpt, landscape layer. Okay, anyways, I don't want to get into it. We're going to just stick with this and we're going to scatter some junk on it, right? All right, now let's just quickly add that river in. I want to add the river in because I think I can get the shape back, the depth in here, because if I turn on the water layer right now and we go back over here to this view, this is the water. The sea level is way too high. I'm going to click on scene and then I'm going to click on, I don't need the clouds. We just want sea level. Again, I want to bring this down to something like that, right? That's where the water level is going to be. I'm going to use a plane in Blender to simulate this water, but that's basically it. And it's not that deep, right? So let's quickly turn that off and let me go back to my other mode I like. I'm going to add a river. How do we do that? Super easy. Man, I can't. This UI, I mean, this moving around is killing me. Sculpt. Nope, we don't want sculpt. Actually, I do. I want sculpt. I want to go to path layer, which we're going to make a layer with the path. And then I want to go to edit. And then I'm going to go hold down shift and click. And now we're adding a river through it. There it is. Okay, there's our river. And we can adjust these points. I'm going to kind of dip into there a little bit, right? Kind of come back over here. Something like that. All right. Hold down Alt. There it is. Now check this out. We can go to flatten. And it's going to flatten it. Now I can offset and how deep I want that. Ooh. Ooh. I like that. Look at that. I like that. That little shallow area. This will be like the depth part of the river. This will be the shallow. I kind of like the shallow edge of the river. I really like that. And then we can play with the width. How wide I want that. I do want to push it back. And then the fall off. You can see that. I kind of like what we had right there. I like that little deep part. Like a shallow part you can step on. Then it goes deep in there, right? All right. And there's our little guy for reference. It's not that deep. I guess we could go let's make it a little bit deeper, huh? Well, so if he was in it like swimming, right? Like it's almost up to his head if he got into the deepest part of the river there. I like that. That looks good. All right, cool. Let's set that. Now, that's done. Let's jump back out to, let's go back to global here. And then if I go back to the little mode here, and then if I go to screen, I can, see what we got going on here. Okay, now the easiest way that I found out to export this, I can export out maps. And again, like I can export out a height map and then just basically re-pull that out in Blender. But again, I said we won't be able to scatter on it. I need the actual mesh. Okay, so it's a 1K block, so it's not that big, so it's not going to be crazy. I did a 4K block, and it was like heavily dense, and it was pretty cool. But anyways, what I want to do quickly is throw some materials on this so we can use those materials, and we're going to use a material mask system. We're going to export those as mask. So for example, let's come into filters. We come back over here to materials. And there is one material here by default, but that one kept screwing me up. So I'm going to pull that out of there. And I'm going to start off like this. We're going to start off and I'm going to just call it base 1. Let's just call it ground. Actually, yeah, let's just call it ground. Right? And for now, I'm just, again, I wanted to turn that off. For now, what I want to do is just get the mask, and like you could bring in textures and do it all inside of here, but I don't want to do that. I want to do it in Blender, and I want to do it in Octane. That's the whole point of this mission. So for now, I'm just gonna use these as color references. So like, okay, ground, we're gonna use, we want this to be our ground. Give me like a brown color, right? There it is, right? That's gonna be our base ground. And I think it maybe even be too dark because that should be, I wanna use the river. I keep trying to do the river, but we'll see. We can always come back to this. Let's just do base ground for now. There's our base ground. And what I'm going to do while I'm at it, I'm just getting ahead of myself. I'm going to copy, make a duplicate. I'm going to call it ground underscore mask because I've been doing this a few times and now I'm starting to build my workflow. And then I'm going to change it to white, right? And actually, no, this first bottom one, ground, should be black. I'm going to make a ground mask. This should be black because this is going to be the base of the mask, okay? Boom, there it is, ground mask. Now I'm going to make another material. Let's see here. Let's see here. How do I get my text so I can see that bigger? Because I can't see it on screen. There it is. Question. Is it possible to create these displacements on a shape and create planets? Or is it only limited to displacement? In World Creator, I have not done that. I don't know. I'm just started. But I've always, when you fire it up, that they give you a default plane, like, because it's World Creator. It's mainly like world creating landscapes. I don't know so much about, but you can export this as a displacement map, and then if you just put it on a sphere, yeah, that should work theoretically. Like, it's just gonna wrap it around there, so that should work. Okay, now what we're gonna do on this one, this material is going to be rock. Let's just call it rock. And let's just give it a gray, right? And where do we want this to be? That's the next thing now. Like, it's taking over everything. I kind of just want it to be on these rock faces here. So we tell it we go into the material. There's a distribution here, and I want to say slope. Give me a layer, terrain, slope. Now it's only going to put it on the slope. And if we put this heat mask, it's going to turn red. Everything, this is where it's being applied. Our mask is being applied, right? So we want it to be, right now it's on a 25-degree angle slope. If we go to 30, anything that's 30, if you go to, let's go to 60, right? Anything that's a 60 degree, and then anything 90 degrees, it's going to put it, and nothing is 90 degrees in here. So again, if I grab this, I can just slide this down, 60, and there we go. We can just build on our mask there. Kind of maybe something like that. Like, I really wanted this, I'm focusing on this area here. And then on top of this, like, I can say like, okay, but maybe up here we have a little bit more vegetation growing. So we could do, and come in here, go to distribution again, and then add a height math. What is it, layer? Where is it at? Oh, height. And then it's going to, okay, say only do it in certain areas. So here we can, I'm not seeing nothing. Let's go the other direction. Not seeing anything there happen there either. Undo. Let's just grab the whole slider. Oh, there we go. Let's go the other direction. Kind of like that. So it should happen inside of here. But that's overriding the other slope one, huh? I think it is. Let me see. Can I put this on top? Yeah, I'm not going to do the height. Let's pull that out of there. Let's just leave what that we got there. That's good. That's going to be rock. Everything we're here that's showing, that's going to be our rock. Okay? Or is it? Ground. Hang on. Let me turn off rock. Oh, let me turn off that mask there. There we go. I was messing everything up. Okay. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. I want opposite. Can we invert this? Invert. Okay, that's what I want. Because the brown is the dirt, right? Good. And this is going to be our rock layer. Let me just make sure by clicking this. And let's say, can I make, okay, good. That's going to be our rock layer, right? Boom. Actually, let me go to material view. I don't like working in this cinematic mode. Like, for me, it just really kind of messes up. But anyways, I'm just making masks. All right, so there's our dirt. There's our rock. Let's add some grass. Material. And again, guys, we can put real materials in here. Right here, if I go to set, I can load in a material map. Or, matter of fact, if I go to package, you just load in the zip, and it will recognize. If it recognizes one or two of them, it'll load it in here. But I don't want to do that. I just want to do it in Octane. So that's why I'm worried about just getting the mask out. This is going to be grass. We're just building mask. Think about it like that. We're building mask. And okay, we don't want it on everything. Again, maybe we can. Let's go and bring in, again, slope maybe. I don't want the grass to grow on everything, so maybe slope. And it kept our other ones here, so. And let's actually come back here, change this to green so we can visually kind of play with it. All right, there's our grass. It's not going to grow on the slope, on the face slopes there. That's good. And then let's break it up because it's too much. So in the distribution, I'm going to add in a. I mean, we can add in all this other stuff, guys. Look at all these things we have: cavities, angles, rocky. But I'm gonna, in this case, I want to add in like a more noisy pattern. Rivers, mask. I want to add in a noise. I want to add in. This is one they use here a lot. I like this one kind of. No, not that one. Kill that. Not effect. Distribution, noise. I mean, look, we got Voinoid, Parallin. There's one that they use a lot. Simplex right here. I kind of like this one. And here's the amplitude, so you can kind of see what we're doing. The frequency. Right? The gain. The octaves. Very similar, right? It's not punchy enough for me. So I'm going to go to effects and add a contrast. Effects, contrast. And now I can crank up the contrast. Okay, let's look at it a little bit better. Let's go back to simplex and play with this a little bit more. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that little bit of patchy grass there. And then one other thing that we can do, which is nice, I just kind of figured this out before the stream. Let's go to this thing called simulations. Simulation layers. If I click here, and then I can go simulate debris, and you see what it does? It kind of populates like debris, right? And I think I'm going to use I can use this as a mask also and mask these out. And give me some. I want more of those. What is that doing? Interest. That's not really giving me more. Oh, density. Here we go. Yeah, I kind of like that density. Now, okay. Now what we can also do is I'm going to make another material, and we'll call it rocks and stuff. Rocks and stuff. Right? And maybe give it like a darker gray. Okay, and then in the distribution, what I'm going to do is drag this debris and drag it into distribution. And then what it should do is only apply it on there. It does, but it looks like it's. Let's give it some contrast. Again, effect, contrast. I don't think it is. Like I see it on some of them. Oh, hang on. That means that let me actually go back. Let me pull off that contrast. Let's go back to simulation. Distribution range. I can't see what's going on. Heat map. Give me the heat map. I'm not seeing anything, guys. Rocks and stuff, simulation. Let me pull that out. Okay, distribution. We want debris into distribution. All right, there we go. And then simulation, debris, range is set to 1. If I crank that up, it goes away. If we go 1, we go below 1. 1 is the lowest. Okay, I guess that's what it is. I guess I do see some of them brown, or some of them gray. Let me give it a loud color so I can just see really quickly if it's really working. Yeah, they are. I guess they're colored gray. There it is. All right, cool. Now, we want to export this. Our base rock is still looking a little bit wonky, right? But I'm not worried about colors right now. Okay, so I need to go back and make my mask now for export. So the easiest way to do this, I already started one here. So let me quickly turn everything off. Ground. This rock layer, why is that? Is that great? That looks white. Yeah, it's just the color. It's just the color. I think the sun is washing the color out. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to replace those. Now, ground. We did a ground mask already. Here's our ground mask. Let's turn that on. It's going to be black. Our rock layer. We need to make a mask for that. Hold down Control. Duplicate this. Come in here. Underscore mask. Oh, I totally forgot about my coffee, guys. Hang on 1 second, guys. I totally forgot about my coffee here. It's totally brewing up. All right. Cardinal sin. I can't believe I forgot my coffee. No way. All right. Now, oh, I hit that was supposed to be the screensaver and I totally hit the wrong button. Now, where were we at? Now, we could make also another material. I'll get back to that. Let's get back. Let's get into Blender. Let's get into Blender. All right, so let's finish building out our mask. Let me take the rock layer, rock mask, click on that, change it to white. There it is. There's our mask for our rock. Again, black conceals, white reveals. All right, that's good. Let's go to grass. Next, we got our grass. Make a copy, hold down Control. Grass mask. All right, hide that. Turn it to white. There's our grass. Again, it's going to be black. The grass will be on top. Okay. And then rocks and stuff, which I'm actually kind of maybe not liking. This is my second time using this, so we'll figure this out. Undershine mask. Change that to white also. All right, and that's what that looks like. I think it might just be too heavy. See, I could also mask that out of the river, but whatever. I'm going to do something. We'll come back to that. I just got to get into Blender. All right, boom. Now we've got that. So that's done. That's done. That's the rock cliff, right? And then our base layer. How come it feels like there's something else on there? That's our base layer. That's it. How come it says material design mode? It doesn't let me see. It shows nothing. Oh, because it's black. Alrighty, there we go. I understand. All right. And then material, right? Yep. And then grass, yep. And then debris. All right, cool. All right, now export. 32 minutes, export. Okay, so to export this, I need to export out the mesh first. Let's export out the mesh. We come down here to export, click on the plus, export preset. I'm gonna say export out the mesh. And then I figured this out. It was every time I would export out the mesh, my image maps were flipped on the X axis. So now I'm gonna hit flip X, and that should flip it right. It's gonna be 1024 by 1024. Okay, export that out. Boom, now that that's exported out, we can click on this nice little box here and go see if it's there. It is there. There it is. It's a GLB file. I just kept that because it just works easy. Now we need to rinse, repeat. Now we need to export out our mask. And let's come back here, make another preset. And I want to say normal. Actually, I mean, I could do a normal map, huh? That would be nice. We'll come back to this later. Let's just do for now color map, right? And then I'm going to say I want to do, okay, this is going to be black, right? This is black. Make sure it's pure black. Yep, it is. Good. I'm going to turn on my first one and we're going to say rock mask. This is going to be our rock mask. Okay, I'm going to copy this name. I'm going to come back to my color map. And then I'm going to jump into this little thing here they got. And I'm going to go down to the Y. And I'm going to delete all this other jibber jabber. And I'm going to paste in rock mask. It's a PNG file. Depth, 8-bit, whatever. It's just a PNG. Leave everything stock. Oh, I could have flipped my mask. But that's good. I just noticed that there. And 1024 by 1024. Export. All right. If we can go check and see where it's at. There it is. There's our mask. Okay. So you see what we're doing here? We're just building out mask basically for of the thing here. All right, need that grass mask. Copy. Export. Paste. Export. Mute it. Rocks and stuff. Grab that name. Export it, color map. I mean, there's so many ways you can export out of this, which is actually kind of nice. Like, you can do so many different ways to export it out. There's even an Octane package, which I played with. And I literally just take that Octane package, and it makes this little Octane. I can drag it straight into Octane standalone, and boom, it's just there. It's easy. And there's a Blender add-on, too, that just does, which I kind of use, but it makes everything for cycles. It makes more work for me because it's for cycles, and I got to come back and change a whole bunch of stuff. So this way, that's why I'm doing it this way, so I don't have to do all that. All right, so we got our grass mask, rocks and stuff, and we've got our mask, and we've got our mesh. All right, good. Let's jump out of here, save this. I'm not going to close it because I'm going to come back to it. Actually, I probably should. Let me just go to a mode that's not using the GPU so much, okay? Let's fire up Blender. Let me jump here onto my little wannabe Stream Deck. Blender Studio. Boom. All right. One other thing that I want to do really quick so I can save to my file here, my startup file. I want to change this to add some more zeros because I hate keep doing that. Back to this viewport. View. Couple of zeros. While I'm at it, I should make that 0 too, right? All right, there we go. And shading also does it too. All right, boom, boom. Okay, let's come back to here. And let's go ahead and save startup. Boom. Oh, I don't want to, no. I don't want it sitting on that first. I actually want it to be like this. All right, save. Startup. Overwrite. There we go. Cool. All right, now let's go ahead and let's import this bad boy. Come in here, import. G non-chata file, world maps, live 2. There it is. Import that. Is it done? It's done. But where is it? There it is. Let's go back to top. I'm going to grab it, right click, set origin to geometry. and then Shift S, cursor, section to cursor. Boom, there it is. And it's massive. It's huge, right, guys? It's to scale how it was, because if I bring in my little guy, he's like a speck. You don't even see him. That's how big this is, right? But I'm going to scale this down, because again, I'm kind of trying to make something like a river scene, right? So I just want to scale it. Yeah, this feels about right. Okay, let's do that. Apply scale. Yeah, that's about right. There's my guy for reference. I like this. Okay, now, where is it at as far as on the level there? Okay. Mask. Let's bring in our mask. So let's come in here, open this up. If I hit in, and I go to my Octane presets, this is a new preset that I built. I just shared it with my members in the community. It's basically something that I'm building with members in my community. They've been suggesting presets for this. This allows me to basically bring in node setups with one click of a button. For example, I'm going to bring in a procedural PBR setup. So I literally just go to PBR texture, boop, there it is. It's all in there, right? This is work in progress. So there's still a few settings I need to tweak. Like I need to tweak the values on this to set to 1 on all of these, which I forgot to do. But I'll get back to that on add-on work day. Today's not an add-on work day. Today's a play in Blender day. And change that to 1. And then also I still need to change these to GGX. So, all right, boom, there it is. Now what we need to do is give, let's start lighting up. Okay, I want to give this a material. Actually, I didn't need to do that. I want to give this a base ground material first. This time I'm going to use textures. I've always been using those default colors. So let's quickly jump over to shading. Let's jump over here. Let's go to Quixel. There it is. And let's go to shaders. Okay. And for our ground, I want this forest moss grass. I want this. Drag it on here. There it is. All right, let's see what it looks like. Moment of truth. It's gonna look like garbage because we're gonna have to get the scaling right and all that stuff. Let it load up. All right, not bad. Dennis is there for reference. Those are some massive leaves. Right? Dennis, I really want, instead of having you just float over the water like this, I kind of want to get you in an area that's kind of real. So let me click on you. Go back to here. And let's kind of bring you over here on this little plateau, right? Yeah, that feels good. GZ, bring you up. That's good. Zoom in on you. Oh, you're in the ground. Let's GZ you up. Reference, guys, it's important, especially in any render engine. Reference, reference, reference. All right, now this is obviously too big. Let's go like 0.030. Let's see what that looks like. Still way too big. Divide that by 4. Oh, hang on, it actually was good. I went too small. Woo! 0.03. Oh, that feels good. That feels great. Now, it's repeating like hell. I know. But I got a couple of options here. I can run it through a chaos texture and break up that pattern a little bit. Let's just do it and stop talking about it. Let's just run it through a chaos texture first. Or actually, before we start doing all that, let's bring in all the maps. It might not look that bad once we start bringing in all the masks, okay? Now that we've got this, how am I going to do this? Because now I got all these textures in here, right? Okay, how can we do this? Should we just mix textures? If I mix textures, I lose displacement because I'll have to decide on what I want to be as far as displacement. Okay, let's do this. Let me try something different. Let's add an... All right, we've got this top material. This is our ground material. Let's see if we come in here and stack on another material. Okay. And this next material is going to be, what else did we make? Rock? Yeah, let's bring in rock. Let's try drag it rock. Bring that on there. "21 minutes. All right, there's jagged rock. God, that looks gorgeous. Okay, jagged rock is a little too big though. Let's bring it down. What was the value? We were at 0.03. Oh, I didn't put it on the right one. Whoopsie. Here it is, jagged rock. And then come back over here to this material, and we were on Nordic grass moss. Okay, good. Now, Nordic grass moss. Okay, how do I do this? Because there's separate materials. I think I'm gonna have to mix these materials. Let's just mix them for now. That's how I found out a better way to do this. What's a better way to do this? Let's just mix materials for now. Let me come in here, grab this. Actually, let's just grab this. Control G it, group it, tab out. Grab this name here, copy that, click on that, hit in, label it. It's important so we don't waste time trying to figure out what the hell's what. Right click on it, copy it, jump back out. Let's go back to our top material, which is our ground material. And it's gonna open that up there. Gee, this guy over here. Let's make a mixed material. Grab a mixed material, dump that in here. Now that's gonna cancel out our displacement. Okay, just FYI, so I'm not worried about that now. We'll figure that out later. And then I wanna paste our group here. There it is. And that was our first material. This is our second material. This is our first material now, right? Okay, and it's an even mix, right? Which we don't want. I left that transport slot open so I can go boop and do that, right? And we can come in here and go maybe 0.03. Ah, too small. We're gonna see. That's why it gave us the option just to mess around. 0.5, 0.2. We'll see. Hang on. I need to put the mask in. We need to put the mask in. Now, this is where we come back to here and we grab rock mask. Drop that into here, right? Rock mask will get plugged into here. Ooh. Ooh, 18 minutes. Let's go. We still need to scatter. Okay. We still need to scatter. That is tight. That looks gorgeous, guys. Look at that. Hang on. Let's get our lighting right, too. Let's come in here. Go to world. Just for now, I'm just going to grab a Octane daylight system. Ooh. There it is. There's our Octane daylight system. For now, I'm going to lock my camera in on that just right there because that's a gorgeous little cool shot. And then we can pull that out. We can take my sun direction and I can just kind of play like with something really quick. Ooh, I like that. That looks good. All right, cool. Now, let's move on. Let's move on. Looking sweet. Yeah, this is looking, I'm getting little butterflies in my stomach. This looks cool. All right, check it out. Now, where are we? Where was I? Breathe, young Jedi. Breathe. Okay, next mask was a grass mask. Okay, and we haven't even scattered anything yet on here, dude. Once we just scatter, it's gonna be cool. We got a grass mask. So what are we gonna use for grass? Okay, let's add another material slot. I like doing this here. It's easier to bring in the materials. Make sure we click on that, and then Let's just use this as grass. Let's just use that as grass because I have it and it's here. Right? Yeah, we'll just use that as grass. River debris. I think I want to put that, use that later. Hang on. All right, let's use this one. And can I just drag that onto here? Oh, I didn't know that. Boom, I just learned something new. How many years have I been using Blender? Too long, and I just figured that out. I love learning. I love learning. Okay, cool. Now, same process. Let's group it up. Leaving out the texture, or leaving out the transform. Control G. Tab out. Grab this name so we can stay organized. Copy. Grab that. Label. Paste. Enter. All right. Make it big so I can read it. There it is. Right click. Copy. All right. Jump out. And let's go back to our main here. And paste. Oh, hang on. Kill that. Let's just duplicate this. Shift duplicate. Drop that in there. This is now going to be the second material because it's going to be underneath. Then we're going to paste in our first. We're going to paste. Oh, because I copied that. Okay, so we're going to go back to this. Copy. Paste. There it is. Drop that into there. And then from there, let's size it up. And we got a good reference on size already, 0.03, right? 0.03. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Okay, cool. And then let's grab our mask. Where is that at? Hang on, let's close some of these windows. We got too many windows open. Let's grab our mask, grass mask, drop that on here. Pull that down there, grab this, drop this here, drop it in, plug it in. Boom. All right. Let's see. Yeah, that's mixing. Oh my gosh, that's mixing really nice. That's mixing really nice. Where's Dennis at? Look right here. Oh, we don't even actually need to use the how I was going to use the chaos texture to mix it up. That mask is really already. Look at that. Come on, guys. Give me some love in the chat. Where's some hearts at or something? Or some emojis or something. Can I emoji myself? Oh, I love playing in Blender. It's awesome. All right. That looks good. That looks good. This is the first time I've ever did this with the materials. I've always done it the other way. So like this is my first time, guys, seeing it with materials on it. Okay, now what's next? What else do we have? Oh, we have that debris layer, right? We also have that debris layer. That debris layer. Let's get to that. Move this out. And shift dupe. Plug this into the second material slot. Add another material. Come in here. What are we going to use for that? Rock rough. There it is. Rock rough. It sold. I probably could use rocky ground soil. I think rocky ground soil would be a little bit better. Let's try rocky ground soil. Yeah, it did. It broke it up really nice. So that's really nice to know that you can just use those masks to break it up instead of having to use a procedural node. We're going to use rocky ground soil for that instead. We're going to cake in the, and also remember, there's no displacement going on because when we got all these mixed nodes, it cancels out the displacement. I can choose what I want to displacement. I think I'm going to displace the rock. I think that's what we're going to do. But or I could do a vertex mixture displacement, but then I got to add more. Actually, it's already subdivided. Hang on, we'll get to that point. Let me group this. Tab out. Let's grab this, copy this, do all the housekeeping stuff, right? Copy this, jump back here. Here, paste. Plug that into our first texture. Pop open this again. And grab, grab debris. Drop that in there. That's all the masks we have. But we can make more masks. We can easily go back to our world file and make more masks. Because I want to make a shoreline. Plug this into there. Pop this open. We know the number now. 0.3 is about around there. 0.03. Well, we might have to change that. Debris layer. Oh, I'm not seeing that. I'm not really seeing that doing anything. Let's actually zoom back in on Dennis. Make sure it's running. Okay, maybe it's too small. Let's go 1. No. Hang on. Let's do this really quick. Let me plug this into, hang on. Let's do this. Cancel that. There it is. Oh, okay. Yeah, that mask wasn't, well, hang on. Check this out. It's a black and white mask, so we should be able to just add a gradient map to it. All right. And I should be able to pull more value out of it, right? Yeah, it's a black and white mask, dude. What am I thinking? I got control. Look at that. Okay. Let's zoom in on Dennis here and see what's looking. And that's at 1. Let's go 0.03. Oh, well, actually, you know what? I think it looks better bigger because we get some variation. Yeah, it looks better bigger. Let's go to 1. Let's go to 2. Because look, we're getting starting to get a little choppy, but they're rocks, hey, right? And I think I'm compressing this a little too hard. Let's see what happens if I do this. No. Hang on, let's see if we open this up a little bit. Yeah, let's just open that up a little bit. Okay, let's see what this looks like with everything else. Plug this back into 2. Okay, there it is. We just faked some rocks. That will really help with not having to scatter rocks. I mean, we can still scatter. We will still scatter rocks, but that can help us cheat with scattering rocks, right? All right, now check this out. There's one other thing I want to do. This right here, I want to make this riverbed a riverbed bottom. Let's save what we got. Ooh, I didn't save that whole time. Whoopsie. World Creator Live Test. Actually, no, I don't want to save this here. I want to save this in December World Test. World Live. World Live 2. Copy that. Copy that. Paste that. Save that. All right, where's our clock at? 8 minutes? Oh, dude, we got to go longer than that because I need to scatter, man. We still haven't even started scattering. We still haven't even started scattering yet. I want to scatter. Okay, we're going to go longer today. Oh, what time is it? Oh, I don't have to be at work for at least another 3.5 hours. But I'm not going to stream for that long. Hang on, let's just get this going. All right. It does look a little repetitive now. What's going on? Why does it look like that? It wasn't before. I mean, it was, but it's just anyway. So if I really wanted to, I could still add a chaos texture to this and break up some of these patterns. But once I think we put some trees and stuff on here, it's going to hide a lot of that. That'll be fine detailing, okay? But for now, let's just do this. Let me do some housekeeping. Let me go to my Stream Deck shortcuts. I keep calling it Stream Deck, but it's an old Android phone that allows me to it turns it into a Stream Deck. Blender deck. All right, node grep right there. Let's just start doing some housekeeping here. And the reason why we do this is to help us when we come back to this file later. So I'm like, what the hell is this all doing? I know. This was going to be rocks, right? This was the rocks. Rocks. Doesn't matter. What did you say? Hang on. Where's my risky maneuver not saving the the exit potential of losing the project was. I know, dude. That was a living dangerous, man. I'm living on the edge. That's how I roll. I blend on the edge. All right, rocks. This is rocks. Make it big so I can see it. There we go. Make it big. Let's give it a little brown. There we go. And then this next section was boop. What was this? Grass. This was the grass. Make it big. This was grass. Make it green. And then this guy was boop. What was this guy? Moss. Oh, this was the ground. This was the main ground. Okay. And actually, no, that wasn't. That wasn't the ground. What was that? Because, oh, this was the rock. This was the rock. Can you feel it? The rock. This is the rock layer. Okay. And this guy over here. What the heck's going on here? Mixed material. Specular material. What's going on here? Oh, yeah, because of the moss and stuff. Okay. This is the whole moss setup. That moss ground setup. That's this. Forest ground. Let's copy that. Paste that. All right, boom. Save all that. Okay. Nice and clean node graph. Look at that. I love that. So if I ever come back to this file, I know exactly what's happening and it's clean and it's easy to understand, right? And make sure we connect that back. There we go. Now save it. All right, one thing is I want to go ahead and quickly, I want to be able to wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. I want to now I want to go in, I want to make a mask for the riverbed so we can add a riverbed material to that. Then we're going to add the water and then we're going to start scattering. I'm doing this to give myself a mental note, okay? That's what we're going to do next, all right? So let's get into that next. All right, now, riverbed material. Let's jump back over to World Creator. And that's going to be super easy to do. All we need to do is make a mask. Hold down Alt. There we go. There's that. That's set. And, oh, shoreline. We're going to add just a little detail. Oh, I already added the shoreline. Did we add the shoreline? I think I already added the shoreline. Rocky wide. No, I don't think I added shoreline yet. Okay, hang on. I'm going to add a shoreline. Check this out. We're going to go into filters, filters. We're going to go to right here, effects, shore. Look, I love that you can see it happen in real time. That's so dope. We're going to go to shore right here, shoreline. Look at that. See what it does? We're going to do that. And I'm going to pull the strength on that. I'm down a little bit. Like something like that. Right? It's going to make it a little bit more softer, right? Okay. And angle. That's affecting everything else. I don't like that. Let's undo that. All right, boom. There's our shoreline. So now let's come back into material. And we're going to, I need to make the mask first. Let's make the mask first. So I'm going to go to mask layer, add a mask. Yep, that's what we want. It's going to zoom up here. And edit. And then we're going to get a brush. And then I'm just going to, and I want to show mask. There it is. And we're going to make a mask. I want to kind of stay in a little bit. Actually, we don't mind bleeding just a little bit. Because this is going to be the river bottom. Right? And the river bottom will spill a little bit onto the edges here. Oops. Whoa, what's going on there? There we go. All right. Let me undo that last stroke. All right, boom. There's our river bottom. Oh, undo. Actually, how do I invert? Can I invert it? Erase. Yeah, a little bit up here on the top. That's a little too high. All right, stop editing. Now I should be able to. Ooh. Oh, I didn't know I can do that. That's cool. All right, undo. Alt. Mouse button there. I just want to make sure, see how high up on the edges I am. All right, that's cool. Boom, there's our mask. And we're going to call this river bottom. I can't spell bottom, but I don't care. There it is. All right, now, export this. Let's go back to turn off the hot. Where were we? Why is it showing that? Hang on. Oh, show mask. Turn that off. Okay, good. Now, let's make a new material. Right, river bottom. Underscore mask. And yep, it should be white. Let's turn this one off. How come we're not seeing materials? Oh, I need to give it a distribution. Go to distribution. Go to mask. Select that mask. None. River bottom. There it is. Right. Black reveals. White. Actually, black conceal. White reveals. Okay, there it is. Let's export that. Color map. And brain fart. Where was I? Okay, here we go. Bottom, river bottom. Let's grab that. Copy that. Color mask. Drop that. Paste that. And export that. All right, boom, that should be done. And double check. And I don't see it there. Did I export it? Dude, don't tell me like it didn't save it in where it's supposed to be, right? Dude, like I don't get it. Like, why does it keep defaulting to this folder? This sucks. Like, this is stupid. It keeps defaulting to this folder. Man, dude. Come on, guys. What am I not doing right? I have chick there. World creator. No, it says world creator. Why is it not? Hang on, dude. World creator. Live maps. Test. No, that's not what we're doing. We're on live 2. River mask. Is that it? River mask? No. Rock mask? Rocks and stuff mask. Oh no, it saved over. It saved over the rocks and stuff mask. Why did it do that? Did I have it selected? Ground mask. All right. Okay. No biggie. I think okay. Rocks and stuff. I think I messed up. All right. Rocks and stuff. Let me turn that river bottom off. Rocks and stuff. We need to put that back. Export color map. Rocks and stuff. Grab that. Copy that. Color mask. Paste that. Rocks and stuff. Export. All right. Boom. Now turn off rocks and stuff. Turn on river bottom. Grab that. Copy that. Export. Come back here. Grab that. Paste that. River bottom mask. Yes. Export that. All right. Check it. Rocks and stuff. Rocks mask. River bottom. There it is. Okay, good. Phew. All right, cool. Now, here we go. Now, back over here. Got two of these. We can close that. We can close that. Now, we want to add one more material. River bottom. Same process here. Shift duplicate. Shift duplicate. Control Alt P. Take that out of there. Control or Alt P. Take that out of there. Pop that over here. Make that number 2. Drag ras blah 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 blue. There it is. That should pop under here. Boom. There it is. Nice. Okay, what material do we want to replace that with? Let's add a new material slot. This material we want to use river bottom, which we got 2 river bottoms. We got Thunder river bottom, and we've actually got river bottom debris. Let's use river bottom debris. All right, let's group it minus the transform. Control G, tab out, grab the name, copy it, housekeeping, grab that, boom, drop that. I can still use my shortcuts. Yes, I can. There it is. Boom. All right, hide that. Okay, copy that. Boom. Go back here. Right, good. Paste that. All right, boom. Oh, didn't paste. Paste. Didn't copy. River debris. Copy. Paste. Am I blind? Am I not seeing it? Dude, what the heck is going on here? Turn the render off for a minute. Hang on. Dude, what's going on? Click, right click, copy. Back here. Come here, click, paste. There it is. Okay. Yeah, when I do shortcuts, sometimes the copy nodes, it doesn't copy them for some reason. Like I had to go with, well, I don't know. I thought I did the same thing. Anyway. Look at that river bottom, guys. Look at that river bottom. I think I might want to use the other one because it has rocks in it. Look at that river bottom, dude. 0.03. .5. Oh, way too big. Dennis, we need your help. Help us out, bro. Help us out, bro. Help us out get some scale going. Just stand there for a minute, Dennis, and just be pretty. That's all I need for you. That's gonna work. That looks to scale, huh? Okay, cool. You know what? Let's just let's just try it really quickly because it's really easy. All right, it's not a big deal. I can add a new material in here. Add a new material slot like that. And then let's go to, and we also got, I have a mud tip material, but let's use this Tundra River bottom. Control G, tab out, copy that, paste that. Don't use shortcuts now. Grab it, right click, copy, and then go back up to here, paste. Yeah, can't use shortcuts. That shortcut kills it. And let's just kill that. Kill that. Boop. Let's move that out the way for now. Put this back here. Let's go ahead into here. First material. There we go. Interesting. Yeah, and the rocks kind of do look different. Huh. I think that might be cool. Oh, that's gorgeous. Color correction node coming in clutch. Color correction node's like, I got you, bro. Okay. Tab out of that. I like that one better because we got those rocks in there. All right, let's add some water. Save. Add some water. How are we going to do that? Super easy. Add a plane. Scale it up. G it down. Z it down. Control the water level. Oh, it's flooding. It's flooding. If you shortcuts are default, you can move Dennis quickly by hitting shift right click to put your 3D cursor where you want him. Then click Dennis, shift right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I wasn't thinking like that. Yeah, that's actually perfect. You are correct. All right, water level. How high? So, no, we want the water level to be as high as based on our geometry. So here's the water line. We can see that water line, and we can see the material. That's why we colored that. Oops. All right, I like that. Now let's give the water some texture. This is going to use one of my textures from my school community. Our school community material pack V6. We come into liquids and we come to lake water. Well, how convenient is that? Lake water. Drop that on there. Boom! And look at that. Love it. It even has a little bit of foam right there on the edges. I can probably play with that and tweak the color, but we'll get into that later. It's looking a little too green for me. Actually, let's see if we GZ this up a little bit. Make it a little bit more darker. Yeah, there we go. We can tweak the colors on that later. Sorry to get the unsent reminder. Four. No problem. I feel like that water level should be a little higher, huh? I can always paint in another mask. Okay, cool. There it is. Save it. Let's scatter. Let's scatter. What time is it? Okay. Oh yeah, I got time. Let's just scatter now. It does look repeated, like it does repeat a lot. Like you can see up here once we get up, but we're not building it to be this high. Like we're building it to be like, yeah, actually, we should probably get a shot now, right? What, like we should probably get a shot now. Start thinking about a camera placement. I kind of like it over here because we can get to see some of these mountains over here. Man, this is reminding me of where I used to live in Cali, like where a golf course I used to work at, and this is like the terrain was just like this, man. I think that's why I gravitated towards it. It was just like this Oak Quarry golf course where I worked at. Man, I missed that place. Control Alt 0, lock that in. And matter of fact, I don't even know why I pressed that because that's a hotkey on my disk here. Let me go back to my Blender disk. There it is. Okay. Now, we're not set on stone for nothing yet. Let's just kind of get something that we can work with for now. And I do want to get a little bit of that sky horizon. And we can't hide that lake that we just worked on. Man, there's just so many cool shots I can see happening. Camera. What kind of lens are we looking at? Okay, if I was in real life, what would I be doing? I'll probably have my 85 to 55 Canon kit lens here. And I probably would open that up to an 18. Let me go a little bit bigger. Let's see what a 16 looks like. Oh, 16 fisheye. Boop, boop. Too much. 28 mil. That's actually kind of interesting. Let's go a little more intimate. Let's go like a 40 mil. All right, I think I'm going to take this for now. Dude, just choose something, man. Come on, there. Let's get to work. I'm already like playing. I forget I'm live. All right, okay. Now, let's start scattering. Now, the way we're going to do this for scattering is I need to get my file structure right. What do we got here? This is our plane. What is this? This is the ground. This is the world. Okay, this is the main ground. Okay. Main ground, right? And then root. What the hell's a root? Oh, that's our water. Sorry. Okay, main ground. Copy that. This is water. Root is the main ground. All right. Now let's jump out. And for a moment here, let me think. To make the scattering, I need to duplicate the terrain that we're using right now so I can scatter onto it. Okay, that's the first step that I need to do. All right, so what we need to do is take our ground here. What happened? How come I can't select it? Oh, there it goes. Shift duplicate. And then on this one, we don't need any materials because we're going to have a material on here. So on this shift duplicate, let me isolate this so we can see. Turn on this. Okay, we don't need to see any of these materials on here. Minus, 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 and minus. And add a new material slot. Turn off the render, turn it back on, let Octane get its brain again. All right, good. Now, we need to build the scattering system. This is how we do Octane Blender's scattering system. We have our plane. This is what we want to scatter onto. I need to come over here, make a new material, and let's say we're just going to start off with trees. We're going to call this tree, if I can spell, scat. Okay, boom. We don't need this. Kill this universal material. I need to make a new preset for this also in my preset set add-on, because this is the whole reason why I made that add-on, because I don't want to search for stuff. Scatter on surface. All right, here's our scatter on surface. We plug this into the displacement. For anybody out there, you plug this into the displacement. All right, now what do you want to scatter on? Hey, I want to scatter on the surface. What surface? I want to select this, and I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to say I want to scatter on this surface. Okay, and I need to change this to Octane. I think so. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I just always change it to Octane. Click on that. Boom. Hey, click on that. Boom. There it goes. Now it says main ground. Okay, good. That's what we want to scatter onto. But it's not still ready. Then we need to go over to the object properties of this plane and tell Octane this is going to be a scattering system. Oh, no, we don't. We go down to data, and we go here, node graph. We're going to grab this, choose the material, which should say tree scat. Then you're going to say, hey, what? Scatter on surface. Boom. See how it flicked there? Now Octane's like, okay, I got you. There's Octane's like, okay, cool. You don't need to see the material in this. This is transparent because you want to scatter on it. Thank you, Octane. Yes, that's true. Now, let's unhide this. It should, again, we left it exactly on top. Now, for a test, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to bring in a cube. I'll give it a material so I can see it. It's going to be bright green. And then what I'm going to do is go back to main ground copy. We're going to call this tree scat. And then I'm going to say, what do you want to scatter on it? I can scatter 4 objects on this. I just want to scatter this box for now, this box. Switch that to Octane, grab my eyedropper, click on cube, right? And we don't see nothing, dude. What the hell? Because we haven't set up the... there it is. Right? Now we're scattering cubes on this thing here. Hang on. It's thinking. Let me turn it off. Let me turn it back on. When it's doing that stuff like right now, just let it think. As a matter of fact, let me turn on my stuff waiting for image. Yeah, let it do its thing. But while it's doing that, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to open this up because look, we're just scattering a bunch of planes all over that. I don't want that. So what I want to do is change this. Oh, that's right. We can use our mats. We can use our maps. I don't need the maps right now for the trees. You could go back into World Creator and act like you want to do that, but and use the map and use this for map. But I'm not, for this case, I don't need it. I can use that for rocks. But for now, I want to leave it on random. Instances per vertex, no. I want instances random to relative area. Okay, it's updating. While it's doing that, I want to also come into instances, should say 1, waiting for image. It's thinking, let it do its thing. Instance should be, we should have 1 instance after it's done. There it is. Boom. There's our 1 instance. Okay. Now, if I go like 30, there's our 30 instances. Okay, good. There it is. Now, while we're using this cube, orientation direction up or front, you can see what that cube is doing on certain, based on the normals. See how it's kind of doing that. If I go to front, like they all kind of stand up straight no matter where they're at in line to the normals. So, okay, that's working. Now let's go ahead and bring in a tree. Let me kill the render for a minute. And tree assets. Let me go into shading, back to shading. And let's come into here. Let's go to world assets here. Let's go to drylands. Do drylands have any trees? Those are just bushes. I don't want a tree right now. Rocks. Ooh, that's gonna be fun. Rocks, lawn, material, grass, flowers. Some of these are actually broken and I need to fix them. Alright, here's some trees. Here's some more trees. Okay, here, let's just take a small fern. Drag that out. I'm gonna drag it off to the side here, like that. Alright, it's actually pretty small too. Alright, there's our small fern. So now let's come back on here. And you can see what I do also down here on the bottom. Whenever I have a cycles asset and I convert it, I leave the cycle setup and I just rebuild the Octane. So now this material works for cycles and works for Octane for me. It works both. I always do that. I never just kill the cycles because I can use Octane anytime and I can use cycles anytime, right? It's just like you don't have to use one. You can use both. And if you got assets made for both, you're building up a nice little tool bag. All right, enough of the jibber jabber. Go back to our tree scat, and I'm gonna start making some housekeeping here. We're gonna call this stuff scat stuff. Just so I can be a little bit more organized there. Okay, I only want, and then scat planes. Let's make another one, M. All right, so we got the planes and we got the assets. Okay, good. That helps. And then I just want those three things there. This cube, we can kill that now. Actually, I'm going to keep that cube for later because I'm going to keep testing out the orientation of things. All right, now if we click back on scat trees and then we come into back here, replace the cube with the tree. Small fern A. Boom. Fire up the render. How long have we been going for? An hour and a half? Oh, materials are broken on this tree. Really? Hang on. Oh, no, they're not. You can't have both of them connected. Only one could be connected. And this one, you should set this back to... let me just hit diffuse back on that. Backspace, plug that back in. Boom, there you go. Oh, and the tree trunk is missing. What's going on with the tree trunk? Oh, it's probably the same thing. You can't have two material outputs plugged into each other. I mean, you can, but it's just easier to... like, if you do, like this one, you need to make sure it says cycles. And then this one needs to say all. And then it works, right? See, now it works. Okay, and that tree, let me click on that tree really quick. That tree's not looking right. Yeah, that tree is broken. Again, these were converted a long time ago on a different version of Blender Octane, so things might have been switched up. Specular level. Let's just disconnect that for now. Let's disconnect that for now. Okay, that looks like that's better. And yeah, and then there was some updates to this node here. That's why the values are all kind of wonky. Turn that off. All right, that looks better. Okay. Now let's try to fix these tree orientations. That's why we had that cube there, right? And back to tree scat plane. And we need to start playing with these values here. So let's come back and say face up. Let's change this direction to front. There we go. Now they're staying straight up. And you know what? I do want to use the mask. I want to use the mask for the rocks because I don't want any trees to be generated on that slope. So I do want to use that mask. So we're going to come over here. We're going to select selection mask. And then once we do that, we're going to say right here, relative to density map. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to texture. I'm going to go to grayscale image because it's a black and white image. And then I'm going to select our rock mask. Rock mask. Yeah. All right. Change that to a value of 1. Doesn't really matter, but I just do. Now, relative to area, right? Okay. And density map. What was it? Density or not density? Where was it? Relative density map. Maybe it was. Where do I plug that in? Oh, object selection? No, object selection, no. Rotation. Curling map. Maybe it was there. Instant. Give me like 1,000 of these. Invert this. All right, now it's putting it on the slopes. Okay, that's what we want. Invert it. Right. Well, no, that is on the slopes. Because right here we got them on the slopes. I don't want them on the slopes, right? Invert that. There, now they're away from the slope. Yeah, okay. See, now I could make a new mask back in World Creator of where, because see, we got trees in the bottom of the river here. I don't want that. Well, that's no problem because check it out. I can do this. I can add in a add node, add texture, grab that, shift duplicate this. I think I want to add it. Oh, you can't view in this when we're doing this node here. Yeah, this breaks. They can't preview here. Okay. I think I want to do this and add in the river mask, right? And take off invert, reset. It's thinking. I'm going too fast. Okay, reset. Nope, and we still got them in the water. Invert. No, they're still in the water. Okay. Multiply. Okay, now they're out of the water. Good. Okay, there. Cool. Right? Nice. All right, Dennis, where are you at? Oh, that wasn't Dennis. There he is. All right, now these trees are small, dude. But that's all right. Let's add in another section of trees. Let's add in a different type of trees. I do have an asset of a pine tree. I know I do. That's a big pine tree that I use for a Max Hayes um, render one day. We're going to assets, pine tree. Yep, pine tree tall. There it is. Let's double click on that. Oh no, it's opening Blender. No, 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 no. Pine tree tall. Let me just find out where that is. Pine tree all file location. Give me the file location. All right, copy that location. Oh, Blender's gonna crash. Oh, we were okay. Good. All right. I got that file location. Let's come into preferences. New thing. New asset library. Place. What's it called? Large pine tree tall. Blender Assets 2023. Oh, hang on. No. What folder structure is that in? It's not in a folder. Oh, okay. So I need to put that in a folder. Pine Tree Tall. Let me come back over here into this. Make a new folder. Pine Tree Tall. New folder. Pine Tree Tall. And then take that Pine Tree Tall file. Pine Tree Tall, there it is. X, take that out. Put that into the folder here. Paste that. All right, cool. Refresh this. Pine Tree Tall. Is this not in alphabetical order? Cancel. New one. Address it 2023. Pine. There it is. Pine Tree Tall. Open asset, right? Okay. Files. Save preferences. Boom. All right. Now we jump out. Where's our other tree? There it is. Let's come back over here. S cursor to selection. Cursor to selected. Nice. Now we jump out of here. We should have Pine Tree Tall. I don't see Pine Tree Tall. Refresh. Did I just not do that? Edit preferences. Pine Tree Tall. Asset. Okay. Okay. Pine Tree Tall. Yes, there it is. Save. Reset. Pine Tree Tall. Loading. It's the first time it's loading. So that rock, that debris, that also another thing that's cool, that debris map that I made, I can use that debris map as a mask for making more rocks, basically. Why is it taking so long? We need some randomization of these trees too. So let me go to the tree scat, and then we can come over here and we can already just start playing with randomization here. So that should also randomize. Oh, that's leaning left and right. I don't want that so much. Maybe just a little bit, right? And then, let me turn off that. And then, scale. Biggest would be, let's say the biggest will be 1.5 of this. And the smallest will be like 0.2. All right, that changed a lot. Okay, now let's come and cut down the number of these. Let's say like 300. Okay. I would probably even say less. 100. All right, good. Let's turn off that cube. What's this thing that's taking way too long to load this? What's up? No item. Oh, because it's not marked as an asset. Jeez Louise. Okay. It's not marked as an asset. File. Save. File open. Pine Tree Tall. Dude, what the hell is this? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is there no leaps on it? I don't know. I ain't worried about that right now. I'm just gonna use what I got for now. The hell with that. But yeah, I need to start building. I need to start getting organizing my assets for scattering. I'm not definitely ready for that. All right, let's just add some rocks on here. Let's finish this up. We're almost at 2 hours. I gotta finish this up here within 2 hours. I don't mind going 2 hours. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is make a whole nother scattering system. Well, we could scatter another object on here. Let's see. There are a couple of other trees. It's just you're limited when you start scattering too many things on one scattering system. Like I can't change the size and stuff. So like if I'm gonna do pine trees, I'm gonna just do trees on here. Like rocks will be its own scattering system, which we'll just duplicate the plane again, and it's super easy, right? Octane, and then let me come back in here and add in a something else. And where was the other tree at? Tree there. Let's go ahead and zoom in there. And let's come back over here to our asset browser, back to where we were here. Let's get like a, see they got debris there too. That's gonna be nice. Let's get maybe some bushes on here, huh? Let's grab a bush. How big is that bush? Let's grab a bush. Maybe even the bushes should be even on their own thing. Let me grab one more of these trees here. And maybe one more bush on here too. All right, cool. And again, we're gonna have that same issue here. These should be set to cycles. The hell with that, I just delete them. It's easier. Set that to all. Set that to all. And that was already set to cycles. That was deleted. And that one's set to cycles. Okay. This other guy here, that one's deleted. Cycles as the same copy. And this should be the same thing, right? Same copy. Yes, good. All right. Now we click back on our plane here. And drag on. What are we going to do? I'm going to grab this guy. We're going to grab this bush here. That's going to be also scattered on here. And let me grab, shift duplicate this. Let's actually put this into 3. Put this guy into here. Those will be my trees. These will be my bush. Super duplicate these here. Out into, oops, out into 4. Out to there, and this is going to be the other bush. Okay, cool. Let's turn that back on. Because it's like no matter what I do, is like, if I say I want 100 of these, it's gonna be 100 of all of them. That's why I said it's kind of better to put them out and start putting them on their own. But as far as randomizing too, we have options. See option selection mask here. This will also randomize things by image map, or right now I have it just random. Yeah, random instance is selection max, right? Okay. One instance per part. We're not using that section there. Let's let it load. We're bringing in new geometry, so it needs to load that in. Okay, and I don't think I have this connected right. Object selection mode shouldn't be map. We should have it on random. Right, because now it's randomly bringing stuff in. What's going on there? Random. Distribution, object selection mask. Let's try just plugging the mask into there. See what that does. Material. One of the materials is broken. I need to fix. One instance per pixel. That's hair. Random instance by relative density. Okay, I think that split them up a little bit. Yeah, see, I'm gonna just separate these bushes and just keep just the two trees on here. And one of the trees is broken. No, it's not a tree, that's a bush. Reset that. Why is it still showing bushes in there? Random. Oh, because that bush is still actually in there. That's why. Conifer. Okay, for A1. Conifer bush. Conifer bush. Conifer small A1. Conifer A3. Alright, there we go. And that same thing with that tree is broken. Okay, that's good. What's wrong with these bushes here? Let's just kill that too. Transparency issue on the bush leaves here. Is that branches? Nope. What is that? Material picker. Hang on here. Let's just isolate this thing. What's wrong with this? It's missing transparency on something. Tab into edit mode. Grab one of these faces. That's Fern 2. Ah, okay. All. There it is. Boom. Alright, cool. Save that. Not every pile. Crash? Still there? No, we're still here. Up, I should have waited. It's probably saying loading image. Should have waited. Oh, not responding. Come on, come on, come on. It's back. Nice. Save that. All right. We got to wrap this thing up here. I want to get at least something finished and rendered. What else can I... let's just scatter some rocks on. Let's scatter some rocks on. Tree scat. There is a seed. Yeah, I want to change that seed up. There we go. That feels a little bit better. All right, cool. Now, let's quickly grab the scat tree one here. We're going to duplicate this. Shift duplicate. Release. Turn that off so we can work a little bit faster. Now I need to rename everything on this so it's completely separate. We'll put bushes on this one. I should have duplicated it while it was rendering. I should have stopped and turned the render off. It would have been a lot faster. And this is where we're starting to get into viewport performance and things like that. Again, like these assets are not, I don't know, they're not that optimized. I haven't used them in a long time. So this is where optimizing your stuff and your scene will come into play. And I probably should turn World Creator off now. That's also using the GPU in the background. Yep, see, that was running the GPU the whole time. So let's save it there. All right, cool. Now we've got this here. We're going to call this bush scat. Right? And then I'm just going to copy the whole name. Copy that. Actually, I don't need the 000 at the end. Bush scat. Copy that. Now we got to go back down to the data. Change the here. We're going to make a new material. Let's take this material. I'm just going to make a copy. I'm going to take this one, paste it, bush scat, and then also what we need to do is select our object data, and we also want bush scat on that because I named the plane of that. It's in alphabetical order. There it is, bush scat. All right, come over here to get bush scat also. This is the material name, bush scat also. Bush scat, there it is. Okay, now we've got that completely separate. Now we don't need trees on this one here. We can replace it. We don't need that. We can just replace this with the bushes. Come in here, bushes. Let me just select the bushes. It's probably easier. Back to bush scat. Come here, select that. And then come here, delete that, select that. Kind of for bush A3, A2. Good, we got 2 bushes on there. Now, let's come back here, fire that up. So much for trying to finish this in an hour. Well, this is what it takes, guys. Like, this is not like to knock out a scene in an hour. It's gonna look like it was made in an hour, right? I definitely need to tweak these materials on these trees, but I'm not worried about that right now. Okay, now this is where, like, okay, size-wise, I want these things to be way smaller. Yeah, we don't want this to be 1. Matter of fact, I probably only want this to be smaller. I'm gonna say like 0.2. And we don't need to see trees right now. Hide the trees. There we go. There's our bushes. All right, and the minimum scale, let's go back to 1. Let's go back to 1 so we can see what we're doing. All right, 1, 1. Yeah, I want to say 1. I would probably say maybe the biggest would be something like that. Where's Dennis at? There he is. Right click there. Shift to cursor. Selection to cursor. Right? Boom. There's that shortcut, baby. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe even a little bit larger. Like, we might have a couple bit. This is nature, right? There might be a couple that are like yay big. Right? That would be the biggest. But then the smallest would be down to What was the smallest I had? Was the smallest would be like something like that, point 0.3. So point 0.3, then point 0.8 was a hell with it, dude. Let's just leave it one, keep it simple, and point 0.3 will be our smallest. Fix random with coupled access. What? Random with independent access. No, that's stretching them on weirdness. Fixed. Yeah. I want a lot more of these. Lots more of these. Like 300 of these. Maybe 500 of these. Lots of bushes. Really need to work on that color. They're so dark. Okay. Then, let's turn the trees back on. Get some rocks going next. Trees are really heavy as far as geometry wise. I don't know what's going on with the trees. Transferring mesh count. Well, what the heck? Why is it so slow on this? Huh. I don't know why it's so slow on that. Right now, this is pretty slow compared to cycles. I would say cycles is a little bit quicker, but I don't know. We'll see how it is. All right, boom. Okay, cool. I like it. Now, again, let's repeat. Turn off the render. We're going to do rocks this time. I'm going to grab this. I can shift duplicate from here, right? Oh, no, I guess not. Shift duplicate. Boom. Yeah, way faster. Bushes. Now we're going to call this rocks. Delete. Rocks. Again, copy that. We need to paste all that to everywhere. Down here, object. I'm going to delete that. Delete this. We're going to make a copy of this. We're going to call this rock scat. There it is. Then we find this. Come back in here. We should just go rock scat. Now we're moving. There it is. Scat on surface. Then with the rocks, let's bring in some rocks. Bush scats, plain scats. All of these things got messed up. These should be in the scat assets. Scat stuff. There we go. And there that is. And let's go ahead and bring in some rocks and debris. Now this one might be kind of nice. Let's go for, well, we said rocks. Let's just do rocks for now. Let's do rocks. We're going to do that rock. And we're going to do this rock. And we're going to do this rock. We're going to do 3 different rocks. We'll see how this works out. Okay. And while we're here, let's check materials. Kill that. Delete that. Change this to all. All right, how many materials are on here? There's a whole bunch of materials on here. Delete that. Change this to all. Delete that. Change this to all. See, I haven't updated these materials. I literally downloaded these maybe almost a year and a half ago, so that's why they're all a little bit wonky. There's been new updates of 2025. I did these on the old version of Octane, so that's probably why too. They're kind of like a little bit wonky. Save. Let's come here and repeat that same thing here. Change that to all. Again, you can just change that to cycles, but I just going to change it, just delete it. And same thing. Oh man, I just thought of something. I gotta be making my thumbnail next week. Oh man, I probably should have worked on thumbnail today too for that next video. All, yep. all, yep, and all, delete. Save that. Okay, let's go to the rock scat. There's our rock scat. No, let's go to the rock scat layer. Oh no, these are all in the wrong thing. Rock, rock, gravel, rock. These should be in plain rock stuff. There you go. And here's the planes. Rock plane. Okay, we need to change this to rock scat. And then we need to change this to the rocks that we want to scatter. Mouse that. And then we want to change this to this. And then we're going to shift duplicate this down. And we're going to plug this into there. And we're going to take this and we're going to go like that. Boom. There we go. And then the map here, I'm going to change. I do want that river mat still. Well, actually, I don't. We don't want the river mat. It could be in there. I'm going to take the river mat out. Actually, just keep these here. And let's just change this to rock. Rock mask. No. Let's change this to, was it rock debris? Rocks and stuff. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll find out. It's going to need to load and do all that stuff that it did before. Actually, and let's, boom, let's just fire it up. Yeah. Hang on really fast. Oh, that's loaded. Quickly, I gotta do something on my editor is asking some questions really quickly, guys. I gotta hook them up really quick with some data. The rocks I don't see them. They're probably super small. That's why. So is this file? Why is this download? Because this is coming from the iPad. I should have not loaded this file. But anyways, I did it, shall I? Okay, hang on 1 second, guys. Let me come in here and fix this. Okay, boom. All right, where are we at? Let's see. Jump back in the camera here. Rocks. We're not seeing them. Let's go ahead and hide our bushes and let's hide our trees. There's our rocks, and they are all funky. Oh, that one I don't like. Actually, no, we do have moss here. That one actually works, but it's just the material's broken. It's just the material's broken on that one for some reason. Yeah, what's up with all these materials, dude? These color correction nodes are all messed up. That's what it is. Yeah, that is just horrendous. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to finish this on stream. I'm just going to get everything placed, and then I'm going to have to come back and tweak materials later. Yeah, it's just going to be a bunch of tweaking materials after that. But for now, I just want to get everything there and in place. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. Now let's jump back out. Rocks. I got to figure out also better ways of to how the scattering goes with the rocks. I mean, size is way too big first. Where's Dennis here? Jump over here. Where's he at? There he is. Over here. Yep, that's about right as far as size wise. All right. Just tweaking these rocks now, which kind of sucks, but hey, it's part of the deal. Where's that main rock material? Like the big rock? Oh, there it is. All right. Rock scat here. Let's crank this thing up. Give me like 2,000. More than that. Like 20,000. Yeah. Divide that by half. And I'm gonna do one more scat system here, or give me some more type of ground cover than just these rocks. A whole bunch of these rocks. And what I'll do is let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, because I gotta eat, right? So it's already getting close time to finish. Shift duplicate. We're gonna call this one stuff. And it's gonna be like debris. Actually, low. I need some ground cover. Ground cover. Something to cover the ground. Ground cover. Copy that. All right, ground cover. Rinse, repeats the data thing. Ground cover. Make a copy. Paste that ground cover. Ground cover scat. There it is. Ground cover scat. And on this one here, I want like some type of low fern. I'd rather have like a low fern than actual grass. No, we don't need that. Forest moss. Okay, that might be cool. And let me go to stuff. Let's go to forest moss. Drop that in there, and let's drop that in there. And let's do some housekeeping on the material. Just gonna reset these to 1. Reset those to 1. Set that to all. Nice. It's just one material. This is probably the same material. Yes, it is. Good. All right. And while we're at it here, let me just quickly zoom in on these guys. Oh, that's what I forgot on the bottom. That's what that other one was for. Oh. There we go. All right. Yeah, that's looking nice. Yeah, that's looking nice. And it's probably just a little too green. So albedo, this is coming into the color here. Let's gamma it down a little bit. And there we go. I like that. Maybe just grab this brightness and tweak that down a little bit. All right, cool. Now, ground cover. Let's go here, ground cover. Delete that, grab that, grab that. Delete that, grab that, and grab that. Ground cover 1 and ground cover 2. All right, and that's actually, I don't want that to be the same as this guy here. So let's actually just kill that. And the rock, let's clear that. Actually, no, clear that, clear that. I want to see that. New mesh, so it's got to update. Still updating? I probably should literally cut the numbers down while it's updating. It's trying to update the mesh, and I've got like 10,000 of them. All right, object updating. There that is, and those are way too small. All right, let's grab over here by Dennis. Ground scat. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. I'm thinking liking that. And we definitely need a mask on that. I don't want any of that to be on the slopes. I also can paint with this. I can object mask paint and do all that, but bro, had you pop up on my top page YouTube. Oh, YouTube actually recommending. Oh, that's great. That's good to know. Welcome, welcome here. I'm in this 2 hour journey of building and scattering, coming from World Creator into Blender, and then ultimately using Octane scattering to scattering stuff on this scene here, which I'm trying to um, just play, working on a journey here. What are we gonna do? I was gonna change this image mat to rocks and stuff. Or I probably could. Or maybe let's try a different mask. Let's go grass. What was grass? We had grass. Grass mask. No, the grass mask is actually showing up in some areas I don't want it to show up. So I think I like the rocks. Rock mask, rocks and stuff. I think I like that better. Cop the Max M4 Max chip, and now going heavy into Blender with After Effects. Been awesome. Mixing VFX and creating 3D scenes, learning so much. There's much to be learned. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's the whole game. Is just the game of learning. Like some people were like, why did you learn Octane? Why don't you just keep using blend or cycles? I'm like, dude, I just like learning stuff. I like the challenge, and then like now I have another tool set in my bag. Like now I can rock cycles and I can rock Octane. And I was talking earlier in the stream that like some of my materials, these materials I actually have, they're converted for. They were originally cycles materials, but I converted them to Octane and cycles. So now I got two sets of materials for two sets of different render engines, and I think it's just fun to be able to have options, you know. So when there is a time where I'm gonna need it for something big, I've got massive flexibility. Let's crank that up to 300,000. Let's see what that looks like. That's pretty intense. Okay, let's jump in here. Oh no, is that? Yeah, that's not supposed to be inside there. So I think we need to kind of connect back up our river mask. Plug that back into there and that into there. Um, Question for me learning the quickest, does it matter what Blender version I am or recommend? I'm currently on Blender 5.0. That's a preference. Like I don't like I don't like to always upgrade to when Blender has its newest things because a lot of times it's just more noise and a lot of the features I'm not going to end up using. So for me, like I'm still using Blender 4.5 because I've watched the videos and I've seen some of the new add-ons and the new things, and like they're just not needed for me for what I'm basically doing. It's just extra noise and it's going to slow my process down of learning. So I just like to stay focused on what I'm doing, and like they're going to always be updating. So like if you're constantly going to be updating, you're going to be jumping. You're going to be here and you're going to be like right when you get a good grasp, oh hang on, oh hang on, and I don't like that train for me. So I've just, if there's something massive that's like, oh my gosh, I need that, that's going to help my workflow, then I update. But then I don't, because Blender, when you update, most of the add-ons, if you're using, don't catch up. Like all your add-ons will be broken until they update. So I stick with the 4.5 long-term support. And then once I've been getting updates, people are like, "Yeah, we updated for 5." Okay, yeah, we updated for 5. I'm like, "Okay, that's good now," kind of like that. But yeah, for me, I don't like updating all the time, and it breaks drivers for me, especially with Octane. Yeah, I kind of just wait. Oh, it doesn't show me on the bottom down there, right? No, it doesn't. Can't see that. What was your last one? The problem, every tutorial video has different setups and how the UI looks and the features. So yeah, that's seriously, like, I just keep it simple for me. And like I don't like to play that trend of just trying to catch up and do things, and it sucks. I need to mask these off of here. Why? I don't want that. That's all on there. So what's going on here? What do we use here? We use rocks and stuff mask. So I probably need to go back to rock mask. Okay, there we go. Rock mask. And then we've got the river mask. And then let's do another one of these multiplies. And then I'm going to shift duplicate this one. And then I'm going to take this one and change this one to, what is this one right now? This one is rock stuff mask. Rock and stuff mask. And then I want to maybe change this one to, actually, I don't think I need to change it to anything. I think that's fine right there. Oh, grass mask. No, grass mask actually doesn't work well. I think we're fine. We're just gonna keep it simple. Keep that going. Yeah, that looks good. And it takes most of it off that rock. Okay, now I need to, like, I can't. Rome wasn't built in a day. This render is definitely not gonna happen in one day. Let's turn everything on and see what we got. But I'm happy already with the results that we're coming from World Creator where we started, and like being able to add these materials, the textures and that, and using the mask we made. That's been extremely powerful. That was a new thing that happened for me, which didn't happen before. So I learned how to do that. Now this is basically learning how to optimize scattering, maybe even playing with some other scattering options. Like Octane scatter is cool, but like some of the grass world ass scattering systems might be work a little bit better. Plus I could do some custom painting. Again, I'm still kind of using the mask that we generated from World Creator, which I think is probably not the best in situations, so this definitely can be optimized. Is this thing still loading? Where's all the trees? How come we're not seeing the trees yet? Scatter planes, I turned those all on. Turn this back on. Yeah, there, you got to make sure we turn the render off, turn it back on. Let's see what it's looking like with the trees. The trees need some work. And then these assets that I'm using are not premium assets. Like, these assets were free assets that the legacy pack from Grasswall or Grasswell, whatever they call that. They actually used to make an Octane blender pack, which was really, this was like 2 years ago. They had made an Octane blender pack, which was like crazy. Nobody at that time was doing that. And then unfortunately they stopped doing it, and now they only focus on cycles. But they gave that pack away for free, so I was able to download it back then and convert those materials over. And yeah, it's not too bad. It's nothing to write home to mom to, but for what we were doing, I think it's working. Like, I would definitely add in some more debris and tweak that ground material. These trees, I can't stand them. I gotta tweak these trees for a minute here, because these trees are totally distracting me. Like, they're just too dark. Here we go. Yeah, something's not right with these trees. is this? The second tree? Oh, that's the bark. Okay. Oh, what's going on here? Yeah, the bark even. We can use that for the bark. Maybe even gamma up that so I can see it a little bit better. All right, and let's go to the other tree. Oh, see, both trees have the exact same thing. I'm gonna make a copy because I want to change the second trees to be a little bit more of a, for example, let me gamma up so I can see the second trees there a little bit. Good. And then maybe even like play with the hue for a moment here. So they're not the exact same color. And then our ground color. Yeah, the rest is just tweaking stuff, man. This is just really, I'm still happy with the results that we're getting from this. And like we can really start to come in here and like this river area, do some texture some painting and get some more rocks going down here, painting in some more rocks. Like I think I'm actually work on this a couple days now. I'm gonna leave this where it's at is for today, and I'm gonna build on this. Like I think we got something going here, and like maybe even our ground material where we had let's go back to main ground here. See, we still haven't even tweaked our ground materials yet. They're still just in their default state. And I still don't have any displacement on anything. So I could still like, what do we want? I can add displacement on these rocks if I wanted to. Where was the rocks? Yeah. I can add, let's come in here, pop that open. Let's go full screen for a moment. And I can take this displacement, plug it over here into this socket, jump out. And tab out. And what that will do is give us a displacement socket here now. And I can take this, come here and make a texture displacement. Where's that at? There it is, way over there. Bring that over here. Let me turn this off while we do this. I think I already may have, no, it didn't crash the server. It's still thinking though, since we opened that up. So let it think. Well, there we go. Let's finish. All right, let's quickly save that really quick. And then we'll take the displacement out, put that into the texture displacement. Ooh, no, we won't do that. Why? Oh, okay, I see what we did. Just do this instead. Take that out, drop out of here, jump back in there. And because I'm taking this, we don't need that. We'll just take this, plug it into here, take that out, click on that. Let me go to in because I want to delete that slot there. It's just going to be annoying the hell out of me. Take that out, boom, delete that. There we go. Tab out of that and out of that. All right, now we can just take this and plug it into here and fire it up. Yeah, I'm going to build on this. We're going to come back. I'm going to schedule another stream for tomorrow. And I'm just going to build on this scene for the next couple of days and see how, if I can get this to look like something cool. Like, you know, we can bring in some log assets. And actually, this first one, I'm actually going to continue to use Octane scattering system just so I can get more familiar with Octane scattering to find out its limitations, then quickly jump into an add-on. Because that's the only thing, too. Sometimes I don't like to build a crutch on add-ons because then it's like I don't know how to do anything if the add-on is broken or doesn't work anymore or I don't have it, then I don't know how to do nothing. So I really think like add-ons can also hurt you in the long run because first I think it's important to understand the process and the what it takes to build it manually, and then once you're constantly doing something and then to start saving time, then you use those add-ons. But if you just start off on add-ons and don't even know how to do the basics, the add-ons will kill you. They'll kill you because then you don't even know how to do it if something goes wrong with the add-on, right? So I feel I literally should maximize my knowledge on Octane system, scattering system before I start going into add-ons. All right, boom. Now we can add in a little bit. Let's go 0.1 just so I can see it big first. And oh, what are we're doing the rock, so it probably be rock faces over here, right? Let's it's 4K. It's also gonna slow down the viewport. Let's go 0.3. And I'm not really seeing nothing. 0.5. Waiting for image. Because depending on the shot, like I might want to do displacement on the ground, or I might want to do displacement on a rock area, depending on what the shot's going to look. I'm definitely going to work on this riverbank area, like get some different types of plant life going here. Do a vertex paint scatter, and scatter some stuff along that river edge there. Tweak the water. Get some bigger boulders in the water. Yeah, yeah. I've got the ideas are starting to flow. And then I'm going to come back with this. I like this ground cover that I'm using here. I don't like the map that I'm using to distribute that. So I could still easily jump back into World Creator, paint a new ground mask. Or why I paint, I can just paint it in here and just come in here and just start painting the grass where I want the grass to be. And yeah. Yeah, it's crunching the data there. Or is it? Waiting for image. Typically when it says waiting for image, you should just leave it alone and let it do its thing. That's the thing, the trend. But I think I'm gonna stop it and save it. And this is main ground, right? Yeah, let's solo main ground so I can see without all of the scattering stuff. Maybe it'll be easier to see what we're doing as far as. And that's one thing with Octane. A lot of times you just got to restart that render and turn it off and turn it on. Let's come over here to this rocky area. Yeah, it's working. I can see it now because we come over here and mute it. Is it working? Oh, rocky soil ground. No, 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 no. This is the wrong thing. Rocky soil ground. We don't want that. Disconnect that. No, 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 no. I want it on rock was what I wanted to do it on. X that out. Bring that over here. Paste that. Nope, didn't paste it. Whatever. Let's just pop in a new one. Displacement. Texture displacement. Now I could do a vertex displacement because this thing has got some serious subdivision going on. Definitely. Oh yeah. We could go vertex displacement, and then vertex displacement allows us to just do. We don't have to worry about what's not. Let me try that. Displacement, vertex displacement. Do that over here, dude. I gotta eat because I gotta leave here. What time is it? Oh God, I was like, I'm late. Oh, Pete, take that out. Drop that in here. Drop back in here. Let's grab what we need here. Let's grab this. Plug this into here. Jump out. Tab it. Right. Okay. And then once we got that, we can come in here, plug that into texture. Jump out. All right, let's save that just in case anything gets funky. I will say the studio version is way more solid, way more stable than the free version that I was always using. Especially when I'm doing displacement things, it would always crash the server, and I would always have to restart it, just like always. And it's been pretty stable. Like I haven't had it really crash like it normally. It is a little slower, I would feel like, but I should upgrade to 2026. uh, all right, now we should be on the rock, right? Now we should be on the rock, and height. Let's go 0.5. I'm still not. I'm not seeing anything. We're on rock layer. Yeah, rock layer. What does this rock layer looks like? Oh, that's the rock layer mask. On the texture, we're on, I want Roman staggered jagged rock. Yes, that's the right one, right? Yes, that's what we're on. What does this displacement map look like, first of all? It's just a subtle there. Okay. Man, I really can't see the difference. So I don't think displacement is actually doing anything for me at the moment. One last attempt at this. So let's say I take this guy here, plug it in the displacement here. Oh, nope, it doesn't happen like that. Mixed material. Yeah, that's not working because that technically should be plugged into the very last displacement. Oh, I think that's why nothing's working. I think that's my fault. Oh, displacement. I think that's user error. Let's see if I come here to vertex displacement, right? This really should be coming out of this last one to displacement. Nope, not that one. This one. Yep, there we go. There we go. User error. Point oh oh one. Mm-hmm. Auto bump map. Let's go 0.5 on that. 0.001. How about 0.01 times 2? Now the displacement's working. Yeah, okay. But my subdivision account is low, so check it out. If we go 2, we really start to correct things up here. And because this mesh is dense, so like again, like this is where I really won't start messing with the displacement until I'm finished with the render, and I just want to like I'm done, so you don't have to deal with laggy viewport and all this, right? Turn that back off and turn it back on. Because especially using vertex displacement and this subdivision level at the bottom, you can get some crazy detail, but at a cost. At a cost, definitely. And see, like it's already struggling because like I'm doing, even it's times 2 of the mesh, and this mesh is extremely dense, so it's probably gonna crash. I probably should just crash it, but yeah, I really shouldn't be like. Normally, I won't mess with this until the end, till the very like this ground. We don't really need the shot is close up. CPU, my camera's freezing up. Stop. Oh, wait a sec. I'm gonna crash it. I'm definitely gonna turn that subdivision. I'm gonna go back to 0. And I don't really need to do the ground, but this is gonna be cool. So let's now. I know where that's coming from now. You gotta be in the last one. So let me go back to this rock here, and let's go ahead and grab that and pull that out, and plug that into here. Right, and let's jump out here, maybe to this rock face. Let's turn that on. Put the division level at 0. I'm not going to turn that on until it's time to render the final, or like once I start doing that final look. Woo, still updating. Really? Yeah, I probably should have still restarted anyways. Yeah, I'm going to kill it. Oh, and I still got the other instance of Blender running too. Oh, that sucks, dude. I got 2 Blenders running. Yeah, kill all that. Blender's like, dude, you got like you got 2 versions of it running, and you're like, yo, what the hell? And then you want me to do all this work? Make sure the server didn't crash either. Server's still good. All right, it is officially time. I need to eat and go to work. Go to work. Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah. Because I'm using all these old materials. See, yeah, upgrade that. All those old materials I told you I was using that from years, a couple years old. All right, and let's just kill the displacement for now. I'm done with that. I know it works. I just gotta do it right. Dude, come on. Coming up on 3 hours. Like, ISO speed is literally streaming for 24 hours. That's cool. Who cares? Doesn't matter. I rather stream the process of what it really takes to render a render than doing the whole YouTube Blender 20-minute or 10-minute. Oh, I made this and they only show you 10 minutes of it, and it's like, okay, that's not real. Like, you're not gonna make a cool render like that in 10 minutes. This is what it really takes. It takes hours. It takes hours. Right? Did I not disconnect that? Oh crap, I did. Huh? Yeah, I did. I disconnected it. Why is it still taking so long to update? Alright, displacement. Sure, that's out of there. Displacement, okay. We're not displacing anything. What is this last section? This last section is river mask. What's going on? I think because of those old materials, and I hit convert to update those materials. Still not loading. I'm hungry, guys. Just crush it. Stop. Stop at this file now. I can't even end task. Yeah, not responsive. Might be getting to that point where I need to restart my computer. Last time. Last attempt at it. I want to start making these landscapes. I need to find. Do you want to update legacy nodes to the latest formats? Yes. Back up the scene before updating. No, don't worry about that. Just do it. Legacies have been updated to the latest format. Links nodes are now updated. See, all that, I probably should have did that first, but I wouldn't have had to do what I was doing earlier, like tweaking the values on the nodes and stuff. But anyways, let's see if we can load it up again. Let me actually turn off the scattering system first, and let's just see if we can just get it to load with the ground plane. Updating shaders. I'm just gonna let it update. As long as it takes. We'll see. If it's done, I'll be back. Oh, lost the server. That's probably why it wasn't working. Yep. Turn that off. Save that. Wait for the server to come back. Oh, server's disactivated. Activate server. Just when I praised it about not crashing and all that, and now it crashes, right? There we go. All right. Back. All right, now let's start turning back on these scats. Let's wait for that. Updating. Oh, that's not right. We're definitely missing a lot of scattering there. Hang on. Where's all of our trees and stuff? Yeah, scattering planes, trees, bushes. I think I'm gonna change that clock from a timer to a running clock. Uh-oh. All right. What's up? Waiting for image. Dude, where's all of our stuff at, man? Oh, hang on. No, I think I'm soloing this. Am I still soloing this? Ah, yes, I was soloing that. That sucks. Okay, there we are. We're back. And then I think I turned these off really fast. Yep, turn those back on. Yeah, I forgot I had that plane on solo. We at least gotta render out a thumbnail for this video, so that's the main objective from here on out. Until I leave, is to render out a thumbnail. I really need to play with it too, the scattering system, to figure out. No. I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out stuff. Oh, we're done. Oh, we got one more to scattering the rocks. Rocks. Gotta wait for that one. Waiting for rocks. Waiting for rocks. There's the rocks. All right. I like it. That's everything. Now, let's find a cool view just for the thumbnail. I'm already kind of liking this view here. Those bristles look a little whack. Definitely need some work on that river. Control. All right. Let's just do a quick thumbnail. What do we got time for a thumbnail? Add in a plane. Let me make sure I'm in the right stuff here. Plane. I want to be in this collection here. Shift plane. I'm going to call this background. BG. Scale that up. Boom. Rotate it on the X. Rotate on the X. Camera. Where is our camera at? Turn on the camera so I can see its placement. There it is. So this goes the other way. Like sometimes we can't, like, why you cannot select? I don't understand that. Is it because I'm in that collection or what? Rotate X. Y. Scale on the X. Apply scale. And we'll come in here. Give me a... this one would be fine. HDRIs. Sky. And let's come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Oh, not responding again. Come on. Oh, there it is. My glasses. Dude, are you kidding me? Every time I switch a viewport, that it's gonna go through this whole thing all the time? No, this can't be right. Ah, that sucks. And this sucks then. If it's like just from me switching to the bottom viewport to the screen viewport up here, like do we have to go through that every single time? This sucks. Huh. That's kind of interesting. All right. Because I don't want to do that every time. I'm just gonna kill the scatter right now. We're on the background here. Set this up. We don't need the box projection. Actually, I mean, we could leave it, but we don't need it. Yeah, we don't need it. It's upside down. Oh, that's upside down. All right, dude. 2 o'clock. Okay. Thumbnail, 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 thumbnail. Should probably play with sun position really quickly. Well, I guess we should get this camera. Probably I could have got the camera a little bit more dialed in. Real lens, 40 lens, autofocus. Yeah, I guess we could leave autofocus on for now. It's no big deal. forgot about my background plane. There we go. Background plane should also. We kind of leave it like that. All right, I totally am pushing it to the limits on my time, guys. I cannot be late to work. We've got to finish this. All right, I'm just done. One more here. I just want to add. I just want to add in these last few things here. Display color. Can you explain what you're doing? I generally have no idea. You're just popping up on my page. Man, I've been on for about 3.5 hours. I started off in World Builder, World Creator, brought over this terrain, added a bunch of textures to it. We did an Octane scatter onto this, and it's not done. I'm just stopping for today because I've been at it for 3 hours and I got to go to work in like about 20 minutes. So I'm just actually at the moment using Octane's built-in compositor to quickly make a thumbnail for this live stream. And then tomorrow I'm going to get back on it again and add some more scattering system, more grass, and more details for the scattering system. Yeah, so you're coming in at a point where like we've made water, we've done a whole bunch of stuff. It's I would definitely recommend kind of skimming back and just kind of see the journey. But right now, I'm just trying to get a thumbnail for this stream here. And the next 3 days, I'm going to be working on this file here, trying to make like a something. I'm basically working on a workflow from Blender to Octane, from Blender World Creator. I mean, from World Creator to Octane Blender, right? That's what I'm kind of basically doing. And right now, I'm just using Octane's compositor just to do some stuff that I normally would do in Photoshop that I don't really have to jump out of Photoshop to do. I can just do it here. Let's add some chromic aberration to this a little bit. Not that much. Just a little bit there on the edges. Sounds awesome. I'm gonna follow this. All right, thanks. Yeah, it's just I was gonna do this anyways, but I figure I just might as live stream it just for mainly also for documentation, so I can come back and figure out how the heck did I do that. I can watch this stream. So it's kind of like, a visual notebook, kind of in a sense. Camera response. I want to add in a camera response because what I want to do is add in a LUT or one of these camera LUTs here. Let's see, enable. go to maybe Kodak Gold. I'm not liking what this is doing. It's a little too much. I need to really stop, dude. I'm pushing it to being late to work, and I cannot be late to work. I still have not even gotten my coffee ready for work, so it looks like I'll be stopping at the convenience store. Yeah, I'm really not liking what happened with the denoiser. Really mushed up our details on our rock. The rock looks gross now. Like it looked way better before we did the denoiser. What's going on with the denoiser here? What's going on with this denoiser here? Denoiser, right? Boom, that's connected. I have that connected into lab number 2. So we should see. Make sure. Yeah, output is right. Yep, output is right. Denoise beauty. Yeah, I did change the scale of the at the last minute. I don't think I like I did to the rock. I probably should have left the scaling the way I had it. Let me just quickly go back and change that really fast. Even though it doesn't really matter because we're not finished with the render, but it's just bugging me. Yeah, we did a lot, man. The Octane scattering system is pretty cool, but the assets I'm using are pretty lame. So I need to find some really cool assets to scatter. That will really help. And then it's a little bit heavy right now. And then we're still not even running any displacement at all on any of our textures. That's just pretty much the mesh from World Lab. It's going to be really cool once we get some displacement happening. And I need to optimize the scene a little bit more. That's why it's taking forever. Yeah, but that rock, let me go back to the main ground here. That rock, I might need, yeah, I haven't even tweaked any of these materials yet. These materials are all still pretty much stock. This rock was better at 0.3, I think. Yeah, it was way better at 0.3. And I'm not happy with the lighting, but the lighting is what it is for now. I'm not using HDR, I'm just using Octane World lighting. That's fine. Let's cancel that. And let's go into render setting. Give me like 800, 888. That's okay. GI clamp is okay. Ample sampling, all that's okay. Everything else is okay. All right, let's see what that looks like while I get ready for work. That's not bad. That doesn't look that bad. And that's not the output version, what we just did. Let's see what the... I think that water level is a little low. I'm going to bring that water up a little bit. Oh, it's still rendering. Yeah, definitely water level can bring... Actually, the water level might be... Yeah, we'll bring the water... Actually, if I bring the shoreline and start adding some more detail, rocks and things here, some more vegetation, and we'll do a texture blend between here, we might be okay. I'm not liking some of this stuff here, so I need to work on a better... We'll probably paint... Instead of using a mask on that, we're going to probably paint that in where we want that little grass and stuff to be. We'll paint that in. These bushes are looking all right. A lot, yeah. I'm going to redo the whole scattering system and less on maps and more on texture painting. I think I'm going to do more vertex painting to distribute the mask. I think that's really going to help that instead of the way I have it now, which I don't like. But for a first day, it looks good. I'm happy for the first day compared to where we started on the stream. And it's only like literally 3 hours of work on it right now. And this is my first time kind of doing a landscape like this. So the more I do it, the faster I get and the better it gets. And we didn't have any reference. I probably should have had some reference of what I wanted to make. That probably would have helped out also. All right, there it is. Now it's finished. Now, all right, now let's see what it looks like through the composite that we did. Composite view layer, AOV output. It's all right. It's good for now. It's good for today. Go ahead and save this. Save a copy. JPEG, World Live 2, cover day 1. Right, save it. And then, yeah. That water looks gorgeous. I like the water. It looks cool. And we got that different ground material down underneath there. We can see some rocks peeping through. Like, yeah, this is a good start. Definitely going to work on getting some grass scattering. This grass, this texture grass, or this ground texture can be doing some work on here. We'll get that to match the assets a little bit better. And we'll work on scattering that better. I don't like that way we're scattering that right now, so let's save that. That's going to be a wrap for today, guys. Woo! 3 hours and 43 minutes. Peace! See you.